From fateful draws to absolute power, the real story of Gianni Infantino won. The railway station kid and a strange neighborly irony. The story of Gianni Infantino begins on March 23, 1970 in the Swiss town of Brig. He was born to Italian parents who had come to Switzerland for work. His father worked on the railway. Gianni grew up in a bilingual environment, which gave him a gift that later defined his career: linguistic genius. Today he speaks fluent Italian, French, German, English, Spanish, Portuguese, and Arabic. Moreover, the geography of his birthplace hides an almost unbelievable twist of irony. Brig lies only about 10 kilometers from the village of Visp. That is where Sepp Blatter came from, the man who ruled FIFA before Infantino. Two of the most powerful bosses of modern world football were born essentially just over the hill from each other in the same Swiss valley. Gianni wasn't a brilliant football player. He played in the lower Swiss leagues, but he soon realized his strength lay in his head, not his feet. He studied law at the University of Fribourg and started working as a sports lawyer. 2. The bald gentleman from the draw bowls. In 2000, Infantino joined UEFA, Union of European Football Associations. He climbed the hierarchy thanks to his hard work and negotiating skills. In 2009, he became the General Secretary of UEFA, effectively the right-hand man of the then-president, French football legend Michel Platini. For the average football fan, however, Infantino was long known for just one specific role. He was that friendly, smiling, bald gentleman who hosted the Champions League draws. Football fans might remember his joking when the plastic balls with team names wouldn't open, and his ability to switch between 5 languages within a single sentence. At the time, no one suspected that this man would soon overshadow all the football stars whose fates he pulled from the bowls. 3. 2015. The Big Bang and Plan B. Everything changed in 2015. World football was shaken by the biggest corruption scandal in history. Swiss police and the American FBI raided a luxury hotel in Zurich and arrested top FIFA officials. Sepp Blatter was forced to resign. The natural successor was supposed to be Michel Platini, the then head of UEFA and Infantino's boss. However, Platini was also implicated in the scandal and received a ban from football activities. UEFA suddenly had no candidate. Infantino was originally just Plan B. He entered the campaign as a substitute, with the understanding that if Platini cleared his name, Infantino would step aside. That didn't happen. Gianni traveled the world, promising national associations more money from TV rights and greater support. In February 2016, he was elected the 9th president of FIFA. 4. The transformation of power and controversies. As soon as Infantino took the throne, he showed he wasn't just a temporary administrator. He began aggressively reforming FIFA and, according to critics, centralizing power. His major moves and controversies include expanding the World Cup. Infantino pushed through an expansion so that starting from 2026, the current tournament in North America, 48 countries play in the World Cup instead of 32. For critics, it's a dilution of quality. For Infantino, it's a brilliant political move. More countries in the World Cup means more money and more votes for his re-election from smaller federations. The Qatar saga. Infantino fully backed the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. He faced immense criticism from Western media over human rights. He responded with his now legendary bizarre speech where he declared, "Today I feel Qatari, today I feel Arabic, today I feel African, today I feel gay, today I feel a migrant worker." The fact that he even moved to Qatar with his family for a time only showed how close he is to the wealthy Gulf states. The Club World Cup. Infantino is pushing to create a huge new format for the Club World Cup, which has put him at war with European clubs and players who complain of total burnout and overcrowding of the schedule. 5. Where is Gianni Infantino today? In 2023, Infantino was elected for another term, running until 2027, with absolutely no opposing candidate running against him. He holds absolute political control in the football world. Africa, Asia, and South America stand behind him as one because FIFA sends them historically record-breaking amounts of money for football development. Gianni Infantino transformed FIFA from an organization that was on its knees after the corruption scandal into an incredibly profitable corporation. At the same time, however, he has become a symbol of modern football, where business and geopolitics often sit high above the romance of the pure sport itself. He is definitely no longer that modest kid from Brig who pulled balls out of draw bowls. Today, he makes the balls himself and dictates the rules of the game for the entire world. For more, subscribe me.